We got you, Sadistic. All right, match 1, game 1 with our Landfall aggro deck. If you haven't seen this deck before, it is a Naya aggressive deck built on the back of Steppe Lynx and Plated Geopede, and the power of Renegade Rallier to allow you to make 4 land drops on turn 3 to push crazy amounts of damage. Fellow Corn Dweller, I'm able to afford living in a house as a graduate student. Yep. What's my favorite archetype in Modern? Creature combo decks. They're not very good, but I love playing them. We got Whirly Boys. It seems pretty good. You to go Steppe Lynx on 1, fetch land, attack for 4, Geopede on 2, fetch land, attack for 8 on 3, attack for 9 on 3. That seems fine, Dr. Armadillo. I think Chain Whirler is a fine card in Modern in general, and I think if your deck can actually cast it, it's probably worth including. 900,000 Lordy. I remember I dated a girl for a few months during undergrad, and she had a studio apartment in Lincoln Park and was paying like $1,500 a month for it or something like that. And it's just like, good lord. Just Hollowed Fountain into Reserverge Thicket. All right, you have my attention, opponent. How big of a donation to make you work for WotC? I mean, to be fair, WotC probably wouldn't want me. I don't think I could adjust my feedback patterns enough to make Wizards happy with me working for them. Yeah, it's probably Bant Spirits, right? No 2-drop is interesting, though. They could be... I could say Bant Super Friends, but they probably don't play fast lands on that deck, right? That's actually kind of annoying. Because now I can't double spell this turn. Please block. I would really love it they blocked here. I built Eldrazi Tron a while back. I'm looking for something more interactive to play. Do you have any suggestions? I mean, regular green Tron is more interactive than Eldrazi Tron even. Do I crack this fetch here? I feel like I don't. I feel like I'm just going to hit them. I'm going to play this other Steppe Lynx out. What was the second new card? I know, what's it called? The new Spirit Lord is great, obviously. What's the second card that's good for them? I'd like to hit another land drop next turn. Oh, the Graveyard Hate Spirit. That card seems okay. I don't know that I'd call that a big upgrade for that deck. I think it's like fine, it's playable. Main deck Eidolon is weird. I wonder if my opponent could show me where the Storm player did them dirty. Angel Havoc with the $10 donation. Made a bit of an idiot myself yesterday. Here's re-queuing Naru Court as an apology. Sounds good, Angel Havoc. That deck was sweet. Yeah, we're getting Spellqueller, unfortunately. Eidolon is also a combo with Spellqueller, because if you kill Spellqueller while Eidolon's in play, I can't recast my spell if I killed it with a removal spell. I don't have good attacks here, unfortunately. It's a shame we didn't have a land. If we had a land there, we would have just, like, dumpstered them. Depends on the list, Bash Gooder, probably. Yeah, the fact that this is a 2/5 now is brutal. We need a fetch land really badly. Ooh, ask and you shall receive, chat. All right. Prepare your chump blocks, opponent. Prepare your chump blocks, opponent. Doot, 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 beep, 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 beep. Do I play a Seal of Fire here and kill the Drogskull Captain? That's really bad against Rattle Chains. Nope, they just conceded. KCI actually is already in the queue. So if you wanted to donate or cheer some bits to move KCI up further in the queue, you are more than welcome to. Qasali Pridemage actually kills Eidolon, which seems like an annoying card against us. So I'm going to board him in. I'm going to bring the last path to Exile as well. I'm going to cut these Tireless Trackers. Is trimming a Tarmogoyf nuts in this matchup? I feel like in these matchups where they don't have a lot of sorceries, Tarmogoyf's stock goes way down. Honestly, I might bring in these Helixes just to like keep their board pretty clear. Because like we don't have sorceries in our deck, so I think that's worth. Yeah, I kind of like this. Honestly, what are these? How do we feel about these Selfless Spirits? They're probably not good enough. Actually, I'm gonna cut this last one too and just leave a Tireless Tracker in. I'm a big fan of the Candyman. Let's do this. Let's do this. Well, it's not even just about them worrying about Goyf. It's just that Goyf is often only going to be like a 2-3 or a 3-4 in this matchup, which makes it less good. God, these aggressive starts are so great. Just like turn 1 Cat, turn 2 Geopede is just so aggressive. I'm watching Standard from 9 years ago. Yeah, these cards were all Standard legal together, weren't they? Do you think the Spirits will be playable again? I mean, I don't think Spirits was ever unplayable. Like, Spirits is one of the many consistent decks that's very reasonable and modern. Jeez, with the other cat draw, next turn we get to go fetch cat, and then we get to play knight, fetch knight on 3. Deal. Path is actually a decent draw here. M19 pre-releases are next weekend, I believe. I think. Because the pre-release was Friday, which usually means the actual release is the following weekend. Alright, Smushy for 4. God, Moto has been getting to the molasses state so quickly since Vintage Cube went online. Oh no! Oh no! How did you want to put it? How will I ever win the game now? Like we're attacking for 12 next turn. If we draw a Renegade Rallier and they don't have a counterspell for it, we might just kill them. It's 2 weeks because National are next week. My opponent might be salting off in chat about my triple Steppe Lynx draw right now. Well, Mausoleum Wanderer prevents me from pathing my own Steppe Lynx, so that's probably not a good line. I don't like to share when people salt off in chat because that encourages my opponents to salt off in the future if they know they're playing against me. So I would just like to say that don't use the Moto chat feature for assault. You look like a child because, well, that is childish behavior. That's pretty good. So they're gonna get a full block here, which is nice for them. So the fact that they're not killing any of my stuff here, I think that means I just want to play Plated Geopede this turn. Or do I want to just stick the Knight of the Reliquary and guarantee that? Maybe I should just stick the Knight, because the Knight guarantees me land drops every turn, right? Yeah, so I need to fetch so they don't kill my thing here, because I don't want my cat to die. I don't want my cat to die. I mean, there's a reason why basically no modern applications have a chat. And I mean, in Wizards' defense, Magic Online's a very old piece of software, and Arena doesn't have a chat feature, which is good. No chat is ideal. That's fine. So I'm gonna pump this up so it doesn't die to these things. And then we'll slam this Knight of the Reliquary. Yeah, the opponent just cast Fog. For sure. Yeah, I generally don't respond to something in Moto Chat. Usually the only things I really respond to in Moto Chat is like, if my opponent asks if a given interaction is a bug, I'll be like, yeah, that's a bug, or no, that's a feature. Or yeah, that's a bug, or like, no, that's how Magic actually works, etc. Alright. Daddy needs a fetch land. Daddy needs a fetch land. Alright, so let's do this. And then we'll play Plated Geopede. No, I'm just gonna play the Geopede out here and then pass the turn. Like, any land we hit at this point is real good for us. No, they don't have any cards in hand, chat. They're at 0 cards. I know it's hard to see that number on the small screen, but they're at 0 cards, so that Lightning Helix is real safe. And I wanted to play the Lightning Helix before playing the Plated Geopede, because I didn't want the Mausoleum Wanderer or the Lightning Helix, because our health total is a little bit low. Yeah, and like, this is like a good state to get to, right? Like, lands are good draws and spells are good draws. We do not have Scape Shift in this configuration, so this is the more streamlined, just aggressive variation, as opposed to having the combo focus. The Scape Shift variation is a lot more clunky. It's sweet, but I'm pretty confident that this build is better, as far as like power level of decks go. Alright, attack with my 1/1. I'm supposed to salt off in chat back, right? Because they had no cards and they drew the best card in their deck. I'm supposed to be very upset that they drew a magic card. That's how this works. Stupid no skill all variance game. Burger. I'm so unlucky. Just the gosh darned unluckiest. Can a guy just draw some lands? Can't a guy just draw some lands, chat? I only have one more basic in my deck, right? Yeah, I have one of each. And I don't even really want to path this, because it's only like taking 1 power off the table effectively. The nut draw here would be Horizon Canopy, crack it, draw Renegade Rallier. Knight's not a bad pickup, though. Magic is a dumb game for babies. Babies and man children. Knight guarantees us a land drop next turn. So when they go to attack here, I'm gonna Path Eidolon of Rhetoric. So that way, if they want to counter it with this if they want to counter the path with the Mausoleum Wanderer, they don't get it. They don't get the attack trigger. They don't get the attack damage, I should say. If we draw a land for the turn, it's going to be very lethal. Opponent can't counter this with the Spell Queller or anything because they've already played their one spell for the turn. We're going to 3 here. Bolt's actually not a bad draw. So if I path this, I can then knight up a land, which means if they don't have anything, they're dead here. I can also knight for Horizon Canopy here. And then use that to try and get a redraw towards another land. I guess I should have knighted first. I guess I just want to get fetch lands, right? Yeah, fetch land is just better. Let's get the guaranteed damages in. How salty do you think they're going to be extra when I kill them with this bolt after they go to 1 here? Blast ya. Blast ya! Alright, I'm going to run to the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out, folks. We're going to finish this league. Don't go anywhere. Alright, let's actually restart Moto really quick too here. Oh god. Alright, while we're waiting for Magic Online to restart because it's a memory hemorrhaging application from the early 2000s, I'd just like to say thanks everyone for hanging out today. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday, good wrap up to your weekend. My name's Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic full time here on this channel. Thanks for dropping by here today as opposed to watching the Grand Prix that's going on. I stream Magic full time here on this channel. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing. My subscribers are the people that allow me to stream full time. You can also support my stuff by supporting some of my wonderful sponsors. Some for being a smart, thin, and powerful wizard. Thank you, Average Bloom. I appreciate that. I'll get those added to the second run of this deck. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. You can also support myself by supporting some of my wonderful sponsors. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards or cash strict with other players. There's no haggling. They just take 1% fee off the top. Oh, Steam Flogger. Sorry I missed it. Thanks for the 11 months. Welcome back, bud. Did you send a message? Oh, baby. Extra democracy to punishing thieves. 10 out of 10. Yes, tier 2 and tier 3 subs get to bump things in the queue, so I will get that added to Punishing Thieves. Mac Weldon would love to provide premium men's clothing using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/HugoClothes. You can save 20% on your first order of premium underwear, socks, t-shirts, polos, all sorts of great stuff like that. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible without viewers like Anaronix, Justin Nivik, and all of y'all out there. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. I do appreciate it. We are 1-0, heading on into the second match in this league with our Naya Landfall deck. This is a deck we've played a few times today, so if this is your first time seeing it, you're like, this deck is sweet, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. 100% of my streams get archived there, and I break them up by deck, so you can watch just the decks that you care about, so you can search Landfall Aggro for finding more of this deck, or if there's another deck we've played that caught your eye, you could search for just those as well. This hand's pretty good. It doesn't have any of our landfall creatures in it like we had for the last match, but like it's hard to pass up turn 1 cat. We have Path for some interaction. We have a Knight of the Reliquary for a little bit of a larger beater. And of course, we've got this Horizon Canopy here. Goyf is the perfect draw. It lets us round out 1-drop into 2-drop very cleanly. But I do have Wall of Roots working as intended. Wall of Roots works on X-Mage. I've seen their code base. Sneak attack! Get him! Get him! Ethereum Sculptor. You have my attention, opponent. Oh, you know what? That was the wrong land. I am not in the brain mode to be playing this deck. I was just like, oh, I want my Goyf to get a thing, but fetch lands are very valuable in this deck, and I should have held that. 10 out of 10 should have just like played the Stomping Ground out. Yeah, probably some kind of blue steel variation. They have Hallowed Fountain in their deck, which means they're not mono blue like a lot of these decks tend to be. I got you, German Space Ace. Yeah, could be. Could be. That one probably needs to die, huh? Although they might just vomit their hand out here. I think I want to just plow my way through here, right? Path my way through. I probably want to take their Lord off the table here as well. Smack them for 5 down to 9. This is another good example of like Tarmogoyf being kind of medium. I think against any deck that doesn't have sorceries in it, Tarmogoyf's kind of our go-to trim in this deck. Just like, people are so used to Tarmogoyf like passively being a 4/5 in decks like Green-Black X that like when they see it in a deck like this, they kind of, what? The top 4 cards of your deck and put them back in the order. Alrighty then. Yeah, it seems a little bit low on the power level scale. That's a Plated Geopede. So, getting kind of punished for having waited on my fetch line. I think I'm going to attack with my Nacatl and offer to trade it for the Ethereum Sculptor here. Because if they trade Ethereum Sculptor for my Wild Nacatl, my Goyf becomes a 4/5, which would be nice. Yeah, so I assume they're going to like double block here and I'll get to kill their artifact creature. No, I'm not going to create a friendly league command. Anytime someone wants to shit on people for the type of event they're playing in, I'm just going to time them out. Those aren't people that I want in my community. I don't get why people feel the need to do that. Like in the deck that I played, I felt like I just didn't have room for Smuggler's Copter. Like, it's that cards that don't impact the board in Modern the turn you play them are often a hard sell, in my opinion. That's a worm coin. I've already played 2 of my 3 paths. Well, that's awkward. That's awkward. We can eat it with Geopede here, which is nice. Oh, mate. If you'd like to talk again, send me a message. So this can be an 8/8 now, and this can only be a 7/7. That's unfortunate. The second Grand Architect was a good draw there. I think I'm just supposed to take this hit. No, I think I'm just going to take the hit here. So, like, take my 8. Maybe this is too aggressive. I guess this, like, cuts off how many fetch lands I can use. Which is a little bit bad for me. Yeah, because I can't triple fetch now. Yeah, I should have chump blocked there. Draw path to Exile or concede. Yeah, that was a mistake. Stand still for like 5 seconds. All right. So we were doing pretty well there. I think this is a Tarmogoyf trim. This is probably could be a Tireless Tracker trim matchup as well. I definitely want Grudge and Pridemage and Helix and Path to Exile. That's super clean in and out. That seems fine. Yeah, let's do it. Just like keep their board clear of their synergy creatures and beat them down while doing so. Yeah, if they hadn't drawn the second Architect there, our Plated Geopede would have set us up okay there. But the fact that I burned my Path to Exile so aggressive early meant that I had to. I think that burning the paths was correct. Killing the Lodestone Golem and the first Grand Architect felt like it was pretty important. Just like triple Architect Wormcoil is a little bit too much to overcome. I definitely should have jumped with the Nacatl to give myself more flexibility. I don't think that's true. Lodestone Golem makes my creatures cost more too. I would have been really choked on what I was able to do that game if I would have left Lodestone Golem in play. So honestly, the Grand Architect might have been able to stay in play, but the Lodestone Golem definitely needed to go, I think. No, I think the Lodestone Golem definitely needed to go. This card seems sweet in this deck. That other 1-mana 1/1 that they played seemed truly rancid, but Artificer's Assistant seems truly good. Seems like moderately powerful. They had white mana, so I wonder if they're splashing for like Path to Exile on their sideboard. Seems like a very real possibility. Okay, find you in this round, but I'll be back later. Life is demanding. but I'll take it. What's going on? All right, get all those added to the next run of Landfall. Easy, no blocks here. We get to put a 4/4 into play this turn, which is nice, while attacking them for 3. And then we'll get to have our spot removal here and sit back as we shoot down their things and just pressure them. I think I just want to be conservative with my health total for now. Probably fetch a basic plains here. We'll do average bloom. I think you should have attacked first because they were tapped out and there was a chance they trade the golem. Should we play Searing Blades in this deck because we're too demanding on the cost? How many red sources do we have? We might have enough red just because we have so many lands in the deck. There's a lot of really bad red decks in Modern. There's a few good ones too, but there's a lot of really bad ones. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 19 red sources. Maybe Searing Blaze is worth testing. I could see that. Huh. That might actually be okay. Okay, they are splashing for Path, which makes me a little bit sad that I ended up fetching out all my basics here. We're a little bit flooded. When I board out my Tireless Trackers, we have less recovery mechanic when we flood like this. I'm going to hold these lands in my hand for the time being because I would like to use them with landfall creatures. So you have a lot of value holding lands when you aren't explicitly going to use them. My monthly taxes to Huglandia. Let's rebuild. Thanks for the 13-month DAOs. Welcome back. Do you feel the power level of red cards in Modern is weak? I think that's kind of a loaded statement. I think there's obviously playable red cards. Like Lightning Bolt is one of the best cards in the format. We have clean answers to most of their stuff right now. That is unfortunately not one that we have a clean answer to. I guess I just trade my Pridemage for this. Our lack of a clock here is a big deal. The fact that they had Path into a Ballista to kill this, putting us pretty far behind. I mean, if they're playing the Possibility Storm deck, they should understand that they're going to have a Rancid Death Shadow matchup. It's like if Twin was legal, it would be really terrible against Death Shadow. Maybe I was supposed to just kill this. Yeah, I'm not going to let a mistake compound. I should be 1 health point higher. I should have killed that pre-combat. This Treetop Village race is pretty good here. It sounds like a fun thing to be doing in Legacy. It doesn't sound like a particularly good thing to be doing in Legacy. Most of the fun things in Legacy are bad. Sounds like it's going to get dumpstered by Grixis Delver. We'll definitely play it on stream at some point, but I'd be very surprised if it was competitive. No, almost certainly not, Dr. Armadillo. A lot of those other decks got banned out of the format too, right? Like, I think Pod created more decks than Splinter Twin did. Alright, so they're not attacking with the Blinkmoth Nexus, which must mean they have a follow-up play here. Oh, they're going to try and double block my Treetop Village? Oh, friendo, that is not going to work out for you. You are not going to be pleased with the results of this. Good lord. It's a real shame all of our candy men and women are in the sideboard, right? All 4? Yep. think it's right to board them out against another aggressive deck, but maybe I'm supposed to just like always leave 2 in for games like this. Or not. Trample. You have some kind of trick here? Nope. Treetop Village, best village. Red-green Valakut's on the no-fly list because the play patterns it creates are by and large uninteresting and boring in my opinion. I play Magic to have fun. It's pretty impressive that they flooded out this much with all the scrying they had. Red-green Valakut's a very powerful deck. It's a very good deck in the metagame. I don't enjoy playing it. Hey, piece of candy. Attack first in case they have removal. The no-fly list is a list of Magic the Gathering decks that you have to send an extra donation in order for me to be willing to play them on stream. I have another Worm Coil. Took us a little bit too long to draw out of this. I slept about 6 hours yesterday and 6 hours today. Path. Hey, that'll do. That'll do too, pig. That'll do too. Having a removal that doubles his reach is just like A+. Yeah, I'm mostly back to normal. I'm yeah, the no-fly list, you can consider those $50 decks aside from Lantern, which is much more than that. Do I want a non-zero number of trackers in my deck for games like that? Okay, so here's an interesting thought. Especially on the draw against a deck with a lot of chump blockers, is Tracker better than Renegade Rallier? Because, like, Renegade Rallier creates explosive starts for me. I could also split the difference on these, just like Coward split it. But I feel like, especially with the configuration I'm in right now, like, what? I've got 8, 10, I've got, like, 14 pieces of removal in my deck. So, like, if I'm turning into a 1-for-1 removal deck, Tireless Tracker gets more appealing, right? Now, I'm going to go all in on the trackers here. Yeah, I think we're the control deck here, especially on the draw. We were probably the control deck on the play as well. And I think tracker is just like everything we want to be doing when we're a control deck. I'm going to keep this hand. We can't cast Helix yet, but there's 23 lands left in our deck, so hopefully we draw one. No, I think if I'm cutting Plated Geopede, I'm just like not interested in I'm not interested in Renegade Rallier anymore. Like, Rallier's only good alongside Steppe Lynx and Geopede. I'm like, my opponent's deck, like, isn't killing my creatures very consistently either. No, so actually, I should articulate why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm leading on the Sacred Foundry here because I think the chances of my opponent playing a card that I want to Lightning Bolt onto are very high. So my plan was to Lightning Bolt this plus play Treetop tapped this turn. But now that I drew Wild Nacatl, my sequencing is a little bit messed up. I kind of want to Fetch Shock and play Nacatl here. And then, like, next turn I could go Lightning Helix plus tapped land. Yeah, I think I like that. I could also go Qasali Pridemage plus tapped land next turn, potentially. What's the deck I'm most looking forward to play in the donation queue? I'm looking forward to running back the blue-red Delver Fairies list, but I'm waiting until we have Alpine Moon on Magic Online to do that. Because, like, if they play their, what's it called this turn, the Grand Arbiter, I'm going to want to Lightning Helix that anyways, so. Opponent's playing a variation of Blue Steel that has a white splash in it. They could have, this is really bad for us here. Because I don't have I don't have an untapped land now, so I can't cast any of my spells next turn. So I'd really like to draw an untapped land so we can Lightning Helix this Lodestone. Just nothing but professionalism here. I'm gonna start by attacking with this. Because if they trade, I'm happy to trade. Actually, am I supposed to kill this? Was I supposed to leave this back and kill this? That's probably what I was supposed to do, right? I think I'm pretty obligated to kill this at this point. I think maybe this was wrong and I was supposed to leave this back and kill the Arbiter. Because of the threat of Wormcoil Engine. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they have it. I can kind of grind through this in the back of Qasali Pridemage. Oh, is this just like a big walking ballista? Big walking ballista is not the worst. That's actually pretty okay for us. My Pridemage just like trade straight up for it. I'm gonna attack with my little cat here. Did you know we're playing Cat Tribal today? Was that advertised? They're just gonna take their 2-for-1 here. So pretty obligated to shoot this, I think. Now, I think Field of Ruin is kind of slow and clunky. I have a Ghost Quarter in the sideboard, but, like, I feel like we just don't have... We don't have enough lands to consistently make Field of Ruin happen. If they have another payoff here, we could be in trouble, but if they don't have another payoff, we should be ahead. Yeah, feeling like we're ahead now. So this is a 4-4 and another 3-3. I need to see a deck list first, Rev Daddy. That might be fine. I don't know. I'd have to see the details. What problem are you trying to solve by aiming Ramunap Excavator to my deck? What issue are you envisioning this deck having that card fixes, is my question to you. All right, well, we're definitely ahead right now with our leftovers in hand, which is nice. Again, that's how you want to approach deck building. You don't just want to be like, oh, this card is cute, so we should add it to our deck. You want to be like, oh, well, what problem do I fix by adding this card to my deck? Like, why do I want to put a 3-mana 2/3 in my deck? It's a pretty good draw. Remember, Knight of the Reliquary is two landfall triggers on demand, thanks to fetch lands. You think so? I don't know. Like, if they lose this land this turn and I kill Grand Architect, like, they can't cast Wormcoil, so I get to strand them. Like, they're probably going to put this in front of one of my 3/3s, which means if I path this, I get to eat this as well. So that seems pretty appealing at this point. They're also probably going to go into blocks, assuming, like, their Grand Architect's going to be a Lord. So, like, removal's going to be, like, really devastating here. Like, if I'm killing this, killing this is then fine. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so the way they're blocking here means I don't want to burn my Path to Exile because they could still play a Wormcoil because I'm not going to be able to kill Engineer and Blink Moth here. Yeah, you can path your own creatures for landfall triggers also, which is valuable. Often valuable. Yeah, I want to block like that. I'd rather kill the Blink Moth next to this, I think. Let's crack this, get a fetch land, crack the fetch land, hit them for 5 with the Geopede. Knight is also growing up to be a real boy now. So, like, they're taking 8 here down to 4. Yeah, so again, like, if you can't envision a problem that it fixes, I don't think it's worth adding. So, like, just like, and that's a habit that a lot of people have when they build decks. They're just like, oh, this card has synergy with this deck, so I should put it in the deck because it's synergistic. When in reality, it's just like building for pure synergy often leads you to playing a lot of individually weak cards. So details on how donation decks work are here. If you have any details on the questions on the specifics after reading that, feel free to whisper me on Twitch or direct message me on Twitter. And like when you're testing decks, you want to be trying different things, but like you don't just want to try things randomly. That's again the question you always want to be like, okay, what issue do I think this deck has, or do I know it has based on playing it, and what cards can I add or change to address those issues specifically? Batsuchi 12345, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting my content this month. What could go over Goyf here? Goyf is definitely the weakest creature in the deck. You know, honestly, I wonder if Scythe Leopard is playable in this deck. Scavenging Ooze could be okay too. I could definitely see Scavenging Ooze being fine. You missed Hollow Flayer, we 4-1 with it. No, I haven't written about cord decks in recent memory, Norman. They've been pretty clunky and bad for a while. Probably grab Temple Garden here, play Goyfun too. Bitter Ordeal sounds like a card you'd ask me to play, Justin. How do you feel about Jund in the current format? I think the Jund with the Tireless Trackers in it that we played seems pretty reasonable. And so this is sweet too. So one of the reasons why I love Renegade Rallier in this deck is because it's a card that not only can make my landfall creatures more powerful and more aggressive, but it's a card that can bring my creatures that have died back from the discard pile to play. That being said, since they played Young Pyromancer here, I'm going to prioritize taking that off the table because I don't want to deal with chump blockers. I think the creature combo decks were genuinely reasonable when Infect had Gitaxian Probe and they had Collective Brutality. So I think there was a very small window. What do you cut from the stock Jund list for Tireless Tracker? You should check out my videos. Go to the YouTube channel and crack that open. And we played a deck list that had those in it. If we don't get hit by a sweeper here, we're going to get to Renegade Rallier back a Plated Geopede and then stick Wild Nacatl into play. Yeah, the bobs go away and some other things go away too. Thought Scour is great. Sweet. Okay, so they're a Delver deck. So we'll get back Geopede here. Then we get to put our Band Cat into play. And we are threatening, what, we've got 9-14 attack next turn, potentially. Instead of Ley Lines and EE. I'm not even actually sure if the Ley Lines are good. The Ley Lines, you'd probably want more Stubborn Denials. I'm not sure on Engineered Explosives offhand. Creature combo decks tend to be much better against the decks that care about attacking and blocking. And there's a lot of decks in Modern right now that just like aren't interested in getting into combat and kill you very quickly. Well, that's a good draw. Hey, Pythas, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. Welcome. What's the other 2-drop landfall creature? Honestly, I think you want to jam 4 trackers. Green-black is honestly... I don't think that's strictly true, Pikes. The tracker Jund deck that we played felt pretty reasonable. I think access to Bloodbraid Elf and Kolaghan's Command and Lightning Bolt are just like all reasonable cards to have. So this forces a chump block out of my opponent's silver here, right? They have a Snap Bolt. Yep, yeah, and like that was one of the better matchups, Norman, but like they have better tools now, right? Like they have Azcanta and they have Jace, and like Jace is good against the Cord decks. The Cord deck is a deck that wants to go long a lot of the time. So like your previously good matchups are now worse. All right, so they've got 3 cards left, but we've got 3 threats in play, which is nice. This is looking like a matchup where I'll probably want to bring in Tireless Tracker. I'll probably trim Goyf again in this matchup and just like board into the tracker removal package. Tracker's so good when we want to turn into like this Naya control deck. Ravine is very good. Ravine is very good. I disagree that Liliana is as good as K-Command. Ravine's a fucked up creature. It's easily the best creature land in that cycle. That's annoying. Oh, they don't have another bolt in their bin. Alright, well, I'm going to bolt the crap out of this in response so I can't trade with my Rallier. I'm actually going to hold my fetch lands here because if we draw one of our 2 main deck Tireless Trackers, I'd like to be able to get a clue with that. I'm pretty sure it's better than Colonnade. The damage it converts to is much higher, much faster. And like the colors that the deck is in lends credence to like the creature land and what it does. I feel like the opponent definitely should have double thought scoured before taking damage there, because they could have like found a lightning bolt to kill my Plated Geopede or my Renegade Rallier potentially. If they find a delve threat, we could be in a little bit of trouble, but outside of a delve threat, we're in a pretty reasonable spot currently. Drawing Steppe Lynx on turn 7 is one of the things you have to deal with while playing this deck. Just like, oh man. If they have a Snapcaster Mage here, we're going to be Electrolyze. Okay, that's another reason to keep my land uncracked. Drawing more landfall creatures is another reason to keep the land uncracked as well. Like, we technically are going to have lethal on board with this fetch land next turn now. Oh, geez, they had a delve threat? I think they had a delve threat. Really need to draw a fetch land or a tracker into a fetch land if they hit a delve threat here. Smells like a delve threat. Yep. That being said, fetch land lets us punch through this delve threat, which is nice. They're out of cards. Tarmogoyf's a medium draw. Yeah, Goyf's just okay. Wow, they should have saved their fetch land to scry with their Delver for sure. They found a Terminate though. Okay. Sure. They can't attack with the Gurmag Angler because they'll die. Yeah, this is conservative. We did not play any Devastating Summons during the 24-hour stream, actually. So they have to block both of these. I'm going to have to crack both my fetch lands here, but... Because, like, they'll block here, block here. So I have to crack both of these to eat their Gurmag Angler, but, like, my King Kitty is bigger than their stuff. Hey, the Ziggs with the 3-month resubscription. Thanks for the quarter of a year. Have some boots. Thanks for being a hardworking member of Hooglandia. So, The top of their deck versus our two creatures in play here. If they hit Snapcaster Mage or Electrolyze, they get to bury us deep in the ground. Alright, lands are lethal. If they're not lands, it's a spell. Take my Tarmogoyf. Bolts are now lethal. Slightly less hosed by an Electrolyze with the Goyf draw. Seal of Fire is now lethal because they fetched to 2. Was Boros Charm a consideration? Yeah, that could be interesting. Because, like, 4 damage is obviously great. And, like, sometimes it can be much more than 4, right? They basically need Cryptic Command to survive here. I'm not super in love with the Goyf slot. I don't know if I think if I wanted more reach in the main deck, I'd probably play Helix. I feel like I'd rather just, like, I like, especially with access to Tireless Tracker, I like being able to be more controlling in this deck occasionally. Is it nuts to trim? I'm going to trim a Knight of the Reliquary here. So the reason why I'm trimming Knight is because their deck has a lot of quality removal in it, and while Knight of the Reliquary is an okay Lightning Rod. Oh, actually, how do we feel about this? How do we feel about this? I guess Knight is big enough to trade with their Gurmag Anglers. Maybe I want to cut Cat. Yeah, let's do that. Let's turn into a control deck on the draw here. And that's one of the nice things about having so many lands in our deck. Like, we can board into a control deck like this with more 3-drops and still, like, hit our land drops consistently and be able to play that controlling game. Cut Goyf, cut Cat, plan to 1-for-1 them, and then draw cards with Tireless Tracker. So the question is, how aggressive do I want to be with my health total here? I think the answer is kind of conservative, so I'm going to fetch a basic mountain and cast the Seal of Fire. I think trying to race here by putting a Steppe Lynx into play is loose. Again, there's lots of cards you could add to this deck to be more aggressive and more linear, but I think if your goal is to be more aggressive and more linear, you should consider playing other decks that are not this one. I feel like a lot of the strength that this deck has comes from the fact that it can be fairly interactive when it needs to be, and if your goal is to just, like, find the best linear deck possible and play that, you should probably be playing something like the Revolt Zoo deck. I think if your goal is to just, like, kill your opponents ASAP, you should check out the Revolt Zoo deck that we played during the 24-hour stream. That deck plays a Tarkov's Command and a bunch of reach and is very, very aggressive and powerful. Maybe I should have played the Plated Geopede last turn. I kind of figured they were just going to kill whatever I cast. So I kind of wanted them to kill Selfless Spirit. Well, that's vomit-inducing. That card is real good against us. Alright, well, I'm going to Rallier back a fetch land here. This is an 0-3. Seal only does 2 points of damage. And now I can Tracker, make a clue, make a clue, make a clue. They don't have any pressure in play right now, so that's good for us. It shuts off the rest of our hand, but, like, extra rewarded for, like, waiting on the Steppe Lynx, right? You killed him, Jim. He's dead. And, like, they're sitting here with this wait and go long game plan as well. They could have a Mana Leak here. No, Mana Leak is so good for us. Feel like I'm just going to crack these now. My opponent could kill this in response, but if I let them untap, they're going to have access to Snap Lightning Bolt. So I think my best chance of getting 3 clues here is cracking all of these ASAP. What is our place in the format? Our goal, this is basically a mid-range aggressive deck. It occasionally has good aggressive draws off of Steppe Lynx, Plated Geopede, Renegade Rallier curves, so it can get free wins that way. But it also, against decks that are more linear than it is, has a bunch of quality removal to interact with those decks. We also are a kind of aggressive deck that gets to leverage Damping Sphere out of the sideboard to have more game against decks like Storm. Look at that. Played around the Snap Bolt and got more clues and got rewarded for it. So looking for some removal at this point. Sweet. We're looking to dodge a Delve threat for the time being. We don't have the tools to answer anything like that just yet. Okay, so there's Path to Exile, but I really don't want to burn a Path to Exile on this Izzet Zetacaster. So I think ideally we're just gonna chill for a minute here. I have 4 bolts and 2 helix in my deck that can kill this Staticaster. I want to save the Path for Exile for a Delve threat if at all possible here. I am not a non-profit organization, so your donations to Hooglandia are not tax deductible. Just finished all of the content on YouTube. That's impressive. That's impressive. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. I guess if you watch it all at double speed, you could probably do that. This is a Delve creature here? Yep. So glad I held on to this Path to Exile. Don't stub me, bro. Yeah, that's what I figured you meant. But even all of my content is a lot of content. Like, I stream a lot. I'm here quite often, believe it or not. These Knight of the Reliquaries can turn some of our lands into redraws here as well. We have 2 Horizon Canopies in our deck. The shovels are new. We have Hooglandia-themed sub-badges now. This is like a 7-mana Gurmag Angler. Welcome to a live 1D man. Yeah, when I was still teaching, it was definitely much easier to catch up with. Since I've gone full time, it's much harder. And I'm gonna grab Horizon Canopies here because I'm just like looking to find removal, looking for a piece of red removal to kill this Staticaster. No, MTGO Traders is a site for buying Magic Online cards. I should just start abyssing them, right? I'm gonna wait one more turn. I'm gonna put this into play and I'm gonna wait one more turn. That's true. Everybody just rents Moto cards. So these will be 10/10s next turn. Actually, they'll be bigger than 10/10s, right? Because I'm gonna Knight to 9/9s, crack Horizon Canopy to 10/10s, fetch to 11/11s. Actually, I'm gonna double Knight this turn too at that. So they're gonna be under the double abyss here very, very shortly. Yeah, I like this deck a lot too. It's got grindy value to it, but it's got grindy value in games like this, but it also has games where you just randomly beat the opponent down very quickly. And I have a Treetop Village in our deck that we can go get beating down with here too. What's going on, Nox? Howdy, howdy. You'd probably like this deck, Nox. It's just like good, clean living, doing like honest things with some occasionally busted draws. How many lands are left on our deck? That's a good question. So since we drew another Path to Exile here, I can finally path this and then go creature. Am I supposed to play around a sweeper out of the Delver deck? I feel like I'm supposed to play around a sweeper out of the Delver deck, actually. I think about it. I feel like I can't lose this game, and the only way I could possibly lose it is if I like play out both my creatures and they top Damnation, like flip my Delver to Damnation. So this leaves them dead, right? They flipped to terminate, but I'm gonna get to go ahead and attack with my Treetop Village for lethal here. Have I decided on which deck I'm taking to the open? I've not. I want to test the blue-red Delver deck with Alpine Moon in the sideboard before I make a decision. All right, sweet. Well, we're 3-0. Slow and steady. I think this deck's cashed. We 5-0'd the first time we played this deck, and it's cashed every league since. Yeah, the fact that Knight of the Reliquary is both a large beater and a card to enable our Steppe Lynxes and our Geopedes and make more clues with Tracker, she does a lot in this deck. She does a lot in this deck. The Delver list is the blue-red Delver Fairies list, Grimwatch. And there's one video on the YouTube channel already. You go to my YouTube and search blue-red Delver Fairies. Yeah, I technically could have done that, but they can just choose not to shuffle too. The searching on Path to Exile is optional. Time for the Tron button. So this deck actually doesn't even have that Rancid of a Tron matchup. We've got Path to Exile to deal with their large threats. We have a theoretical turn 3 nut draw, and we have Damping Sphere out of the sideboard. Like, this is the perfect style of deck to leverage. This is the perfect style of deck to leverage Damping Sphere because it's an aggressive deck that's on average just a little bit too slow against decks like Tron and Storm, but Damping Sphere really allows us to take that aggression that's just a little bit too slow and turn it into fast enough. Alpine Moon, like Damping Sphere, like Blood Moon, it is a card that is a piece in a winning puzzle. None of these cards single-handedly beat decks like Tron or Storm. These are cards that, when you play them in conjunction with pressure and other forms of disruption, are going to combine in order to giving you a winning game of Magic. Yeah, the one that had Wizard Lightnings in it, Grimwatch. It seems pretty good. I gotta think about my fetch land sequencing. The Marsh Flats and the Bloodstained Mire are a little bit awkward, but we want 14 fetch lands in this deck, and there's only 12 Naya-colored fetch lands. Yeah, correct. No Blood Moon because you want your fetch lands active. Also, like, Blood Moon is 3 mana. The difference between 2 and 3 mana is very large. That's, again, why Alpine Moon is going to be very impressive as well in decks like this in the Blue-Red Delver deck against Tron, because 1 mana is fucking huge. I'm pretty sure I want to go probably Temple Garden into... Yeah, I think I want to lead on Temple Garden Cat here. It turns off all of the Tron lands. So all of the Tron lands only make 1 mana while Alpine Moon is in play. Yeah, and I think it's Stomping Ground Geopede as well here. It's possible I should go Stomping Ground Cat, so that way if they do something that makes me want to seal a fire on 2, I could do that without having to fetch shock. Jeskai. Okay, this should be a sweet matchup. The fact that I have to fetch shock here again feels a little bit bad, because being aggressive with my health total exposes me to my opponent being able to burn me out in the mid to late game on occasion. I wonder how you don't feel out from playing at least 3 leagues a day. Yeah, we do. We usually do 3 to 4. I think I need to go back and actually I need to go back and count the 24-hour stint and find out who I'm giving a free donation deck to, see who got the closest to the number of matches we played correct. Yeah, so like Alpine Moon, you can bring in to shut off creature lands also. You can bring it in to turn off Azcantas. It turns off Valakut, which is valuable. This is actually the first game in this league in 4 matches that we've missed a land drop on 3. So I feel like I'm pretty confident in saying that we want the 25 lands in this deck. What are the budget? I'm actually not even sure if Goyf is good in this deck. I think Goyf, there's a chance the Goyf is better as Scavenging Ooze. There's a chance the Goyf is better as more landfall creatures. There's Sight. I might try splitting the Tarmogoyfs, 2 Scythe Leopards, 2 Scavenging Oozes. Scythe Leopard, not nearly as good as its OG Zendikar counterparts, but it's like pretty reasonable. This feels pretty bad. Really wish we had a land. There's also what's it called? It's Snapping Gnarlid. Snapping Gnarlid's another 2-mana spell, but I feel like getting up to 10 1-mana creatures in this deck could be very beneficial. It could also be the case that, like, I should have played the Seal of Fire there. It could also be the case that, like, Snapping Gnarlid is just, like, worse than just, like, Snapping Gnarlid or the Scythe Leopard are just worse than playing, like, Curd Ape. So the way the Tron lands function is they don't work off the name of the Tron land. They work off the subtype of the land card, which is one of those things where we get to make the mockery of Magic is intuitive and easy to understand, right? Like, it's not intuitive and it's not easy to understand. So Curd Ape is a guaranteed 2/3. But this deck is generally making all of its land drops, and when you're not making your land drops, you're not winning anyway, so Scythe Leopard is often going to hit harder. I think I am tempted to test Scythe Leopard next time we play this deck, I think. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and concede there. If they had the Electrolyze, there is no way we were beating it. We're just too far behind at this point. We need to hit our 3rd land in the first few turns there. I think this is a Ghost Quarter matchup. This is a Path Out matchup. This is a Tracker in matchup. This is a Selfless Spirit in matchup. This is a Seal of Fire out matchup. Maybe trim a Bolt too. Yeah, it's probably reasonable. Electrolyze is very good against our deck. We have a lot of X1s. Scythe Leopard. Sorry, I don't always articulate or pronunciate is what I mean. Pronunciate fully. Scythe Leopard. It is a green 1/1 for 1 that landfall gets +1/+1. Do you know what could also be worth testing in here? There's a non-zero chance that we should just put Beaumont Courier in every fucking deck that has red mana and is aggressive in this format. There is a very real chance that there should just be Beaumont Couriers in this deck. Probably also worth testing. That card's just super impressive in every deck we've put it in. It can trigger Revolt on demand for Renegade Rallier as well. I guess that's not true because you're going to discard your Renegade Rallier. Ranger Vios is silly. Gosh, we're going to miss a land drop again here, aren't we? Please no, please no. We even boarded into a 26th land. Can we draw the Ghost Quarter for like the 26th land Vindication? Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you can sack it with the Rallier on the stack. All right, chat with the technology. Huh. Maybe we'd rather test Beaumont Courier. That card's like, it's a must kill, right? So just like having more removal magnets in your deck is fine. Maybe that's just what we want. There's a few different things you could try in here. Yep, come on, land, land, land. Sometimes Magic's a high variance game, chat. I'm actually going to bolt them here because it gives me It gives me an extra point of damage on the Tarmogoyf. I think my favorite kind of timeouts on this channel are the ones where people are like, but I was going to explain myself. You didn't give me a chance. Type your explanations out, folks, before you hit enter. I know a lot of you feel like people feel like they should hit enter after every third word they type into the Twitch chat text box, but you can explain yourself in the full post. Well-articulated blocks of text are welcome in my chat. In fact, they're encouraged even. Maybe they'll miss a land drop too. Probably not happening since they didn't bin a card. If we hit a fetch land next turn, we actually have lethal. This is so tilting. I'm pretty sure if these... Oh, I should have attacked with this. I should have attacked with this because they're going to path me. This, not attacking with this is huge. I could miss 2 points of damage here. Oh, that's a reason too. Holy shit. So I'd have put them to 2 here. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. If they hadn't killed one of my creatures, I would skip playing a creature there. But because they killed one of my threats, I wanted to put another threat into play. D-Sphere would be annoying. They're Jeskai. So I know they look like blue-white right now. Wow. Nice control deck. Nice control deck, opponent. That's... Yup. Submit. All right. Small percentage misplay there. Not punished. Now we get a chance to win a third game. This is my 26 land aggro deck, chat. What do we think? I think if we cut the Tarmogoyfs, I probably trim the Seal of Fires out of this deck. So we'll take a look at the deck after this league is done. We've got this match and then one more and talk about cards that I would like to try in the future. You can find 5.0 deck list published on MTG Top 8, MTG Goldfish, as well as the official MTGO.com website. I don't really play many computer games outside of Magic these days. That's not true. I guess Hearthstone's technically a computer game, right? But I play that on my tablet, so I don't know if that counts. And which do I prefer? I had a bunch of the flip top ones with what's the word I'm searching for? The flip top ones that have I'm totally blanking on the name. Oh, that was a bad. I probably should have gone Horizon Canopy here, so that way I had a fetch land for Renegade Rallier. Yeah. Now I haven't played Overwatch in a while. Pathing me is so good here for us. Next turn I get to go tracker, play a land now. No, my sponsor MTGOtraders.com, they provide me with all the stuff we use on stream. This is the best landfall creature ever printed, and it doesn't even say landfall on it. It's sweet that Tireless Tracker provides clues, which give us revolt triggers as well. They have Land Sweeper here. Feels like Land Sweeper, the fact that they didn't counter or kill the Tireless Tracker. Alright, here's hoping we draw a land in our 26 land deck. And this is why I think 25 lands is pretty correct here, because, like, you basically just always want to draw fucking lands with this deck. So just, like, put more lands in your deck. And grab Plated Geopede back here. And probably play another Plated Geopede, just, like, put them under, like, they just killed 2 creatures, and, like, we put 3 creatures into play, go. And, like, this is technically only 2 cards worth of stuff. So, like, if they have another sweeper here, they're only getting a 2-for-1 out of it. I don't think I'm playing around to Settle the Wreckage here. Pretty sure I'm just going to threaten lethal. They could have Cryptic Command here, which would suck a little bit, but I think that's still fine. That's fine. Go. Should we buy back a Canopy there? That's an interesting thought. I wanted to threaten pushing more damage, but buying back Canopy is very interesting. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I should have bought back the Canopy, because we're kind of running on fumes, right? I probably would have counter-tapped there, but if they have another sweeper, counter-draw is fine too. Alright, well, they don't have Cryptic up. They do have Settle up still. Stop it, Norman. Get out of here. I'm gonna do this now because I have plenty of ways to trigger Revolt next turn. I'm gonna crack this to trigger Revolt. I'm gonna use this Renegade Rallier to rebuy the Horizon Canopy. I would unban the cards I listed in my last Modern Article Jade Kit. The what Jason Bloodbraid did to Modern Article. Yeah, they have the Settle the Wreckage. That's unfortunate. Wait, what? So they're dead? This is a concession field, right? That was a concession field. Okay, I was like, what is happening? What is going on? What's going on? Would you do a 24-hour pod or twin stream? Maybe. Do at least a 12-hour pod or twin stream. Yeah, so I think, thinking about it more and more, I think the cards that I would try to change out next time we play this, we really haven't tried too different of configurations. I think I would swap the Seal of Fires and the Tarmogoyfs. I think I would swap the Seals and the Tarmogoyfs. Yeah, Renegade Rallier is just such a good addition to this archetype because it's a card that allows us to advance our aggressive game plan with Steppe Lynx and Plated Geopede while simultaneously allowing us to grind against control decks. So it really plays into like both halves of what this deck is looking to do. So the Seal of Fires are here as a way to trigger Revolt for Renegade Rallier, as well as removal that Renegade Rallier can buy back. But they also buff Tarmogoyf as well. So I think if you cut the Tarmogoyfs, the Seal of Fires are then not quite doing enough for the deck as a whole. So I think while the Goyfs are here, the Seal of Fires like function on enough axes that I'm interested in having them. But I think if we cut the Tarmogoyf, they like lose enough that they're just like not quite worth it. I think Bloodbraid is too slow for this deck. I think I'd rather have Tireless Tracker be my top end. I think Tireless Tracker is a card that plays into our deck having a lot of lands better than Bloodbraid Elf does. What's going on, Pong? Almost 700 people. Wow. I was not expecting to get anywhere near that with the Grand Prix going on today. Thanks everyone for dropping by. Glad you're here to watch some Modern instead of the Pittsburgh going on. Maybe I will do more weekend streams while Grand Prix are going in the future. Probably just like don't stream while there's a Modern Grand Prix going on. Yeah, so like standard and limited Grand Prix I can probably stream during. In general, I try to avoid streaming against major events, but we have okay numbers if it's standard, it looks like. On the play for the third one, God bless. See, this hand, like, could you imagine if these Tarmogoyfs were Boma Couriers? Like, this hand is a keep, but like, if I had 1 into 2, the hand's a lot better. Like, the hands where this deck has a 1-drop in it are so much better than not. They have Endless Shade Whirlers. What's my favorite deck in Modern? It's hard to pin down one specific. This hand is not amazing against Tron, but we're going to give it our best here. I guess with Renegade Rallier could be okay. You really want 1-drops against Tron, though. I really like the Delver Fae deck we played last week. I'm a sucker for that style of tempo deck. Knight of the Reliquary is a good draw. Our Ghost Quarter is unfortunately in our sideboard, though. I think that SCG DQ will affect your... I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Creature combo decks, not close. Creature combo decks are number 1, but like shitty tempo decks are a close second. Oh, I have no idea. I didn't even know what that was. So there's probably some overlap, but not 100%. So we get Tron next turn, and I don't have a Path to Exile right now to deal with the Worm Coil. They have Worm Coil here, we need to hit a path. I guess Walking Ballista is pretty bad for us too, huh? Although I guess that only kills Plated Geopede and doesn't kill my Knight of the Reliquary, so it's not that bad. Woo! Meta Moods, thanks for the 10-month tier 3 resub. I appreciate that big level of support. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Feel free to drop me a message in private. Let me know what deck you'd like me to throw in the donation queue for your big sub this month. Just got to take that off the table before they untap with it for sure. And then I'm pretty sure we're the beatdown here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Tarmogoyf. I'm going to crack this fetch land. And then I'm going to crack them for 5. My favorite is when the people that cry salty tears in private messages, they said, well, you lost a subscriber. You weren't a subscriber, dickhead. I didn't lose shit. You weren't subscribed to the channel. Oh, people. Get out of here. We could get Ugin. We're even a little weak to Karn with the way the current board is, but I think we put ourselves in the best possible chance to win. I think we're definitely a dog at this point, but like they could even stick an Oblivion Stone here. Yeah. Yep. cracking it right away is smart. If it's worth noting that if I would have had a Ghost Quarter in my main deck here, I would have been able to use it to take them off of Tron, which could have potentially won us this game. So, like, maybe I want a Ghost Quarter in the main deck. Mind Arcanauts, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. Welcome. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. They have 6 cards in their 42 card deck with that also plays Demonic Tutors, so like good chance we're just dead here. After loitering here for a couple of months, well, thanks for the support. Thanks for help keeping me employed. It's definitely, my subscribers are certainly the ones that allow me to be here like I am. That's a new Lamog. Do you have a Tron piece? They can cast that if they have a Tron piece. Alright, let's go to the next game here, shall we? I think I'm probably going to fit a 4th Damping Sphere in the board next time we play this. What do I want to trim? Definitely want these. So I need 2 cuts here. I need 2 cuts. Maybe Goyf is a little medium. Oh, I need the Ghost Quarter too. We just talked about that. I'm gonna trim the Treetop Village for that one though. Let's do this. Damping Sphere is very good in this deck. This is a deck that, while it has some aggressive draws, it's not quite aggressive enough, consistently enough, to race the faster linear decks in Modern. And Damping Sphere is this 2-mana piece of disruption, slows down a lot of the other linear decks just enough that we can efficiently race them. So, Damping Sphere doesn't help, like, Dirtle do-nothing decks against decks like Tron and Storm, but against a deck in a deck like ours where we can really apply pressure consistently to our opponent, Damping Sphere is very, very good. This hand is great. If we hit a 3rd land, it's quite insane. I joined your channel yesterday. How does your stream work? Do you build each deck yourself, or do somebody donate for you to play? So it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, Nyafox. So often what happens is I'll have someone donate for a deck list, and then we'll play their deck list to start. And then someone else or the original viewer will be like, oh, you had some good feedback at the end of your video. I would like to donate again for you to, like, play the deck list with the updates that you said you would make after playing the deck list for the first time. So there's definitely a little bit of, we could just kill them on turn 3 this game, which is awesome. Remember when I said we have sweet linear draws sometimes? This is going to be one of those sweet linear draw games. So we have Lynx into Geopede into Fetchland Rallier next turn. So yeah, they're dead next turn, right? They're going to 16, and then next turn, this land is +8, and then Rallier is +8. So, like, this is actually our first super aggressive draw that we've had this match. So definitely just going to try and kill our opponent on the 3rd turn here. Nice Tron deck. Sylvan Scrying, Sylvan Scrying, Sylvan Scrying. Smells like a walking ballista though, so we're not going to be able to kill them. Yeah, it looks like walking ballista. That's unfortunate. Is Goblin Tribal on the no-fly list? I'm definitely taking a bit of a cooler from Goblin Tribal after the last couple of days. I'm going to attack with this, and then I'm going to go ahead and play this Damping Sphere, because I just can't risk them having natural Tron next turn, I don't think. Hey, Damnation, welcome. Welcome to a live one. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. I think this might be my last league for the day. I was thinking I might do more, but Christy's coming home early with the kids, and I've got some other paperwork type stuff I got to do. So I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m., but this is going to be my last match for today. I appreciate everybody hanging out. We'll probably start with Historic Summoning tomorrow. I don't know about too strong, but it's certainly sweet. So this is one of the reasons why Damping Sphere is really good in this matchup too, is the fact that their deck wants to play like these cantrip egg effects makes Damping Sphere much, much better. Yeah, no problem, Bruce Bye. Thanks for streaming some modern stuff. So I get to go ahead and do this. And I get to go ahead and do this. And I think I'm going to avoid cracking this fetch land again, just because I want to be able to guarantee to enable Revolt next turn. Like, I could get 2 more damage right now, but I can get the 2 damage next turn too, and still have a way guaranteed to trigger Revolt for this next Rallier. If they have, like, an Oblivion Stone here to plan to blow my board up, we get to Ancient Grudge that off the table, which is nice. Sounds good, Brian. Can you ping me again on Discord right now to remind me to add that to the queue? Please and thank you. That kind of sucks. I lose that there. I guess I just get to slam Tarmogoyf, huh? Or do I want to... If they have, like, Nature's Claim into Bomb, there's really nothing we could do about that. I guess I can go fetch land, get back land, play Wild Nacatl here. I think I'd rather just play the Tarmogoyf, though. I think I'd rather just play the Tarmogoyf. That puts lethal into play, right? Sweet. And we do have to win a game on the draw for game 3 if we want to get that 5-0. Pretty happy with how we sideboarded. Just gonna go ahead and run it back here. Yes, Sphere's symmetrical, so I can't go Rallier and Goyf on my turn. If we could, I agree that that line would be ideal, but because of the Damping Sphere, we're not going to be able to do that. One more here. I wonder if I just want to have the Ghost Quarter in my main deck. It's possible that that's the case. Ghost Quarter is like another pseudo fetch land too, which is nice. We can like Ghost Quarter ourselves to get another land out of our deck in a pinch when we want to be really aggressive. We've actually played Scapeshift with, you play Scapeshift with Flagstones of Shellcare. It's really sweet. Definitely played variations with that before. So I'm not really worried about my health total here, so I'm just going to go ahead and play Plains Ghost Quarter to start, so that way I can hold these fetch lands for landfall creatures if I draw it. How's the Burn matchup with all the fetching? It's kind of medium, but I don't think Burn's a very good deck right now. I previously had 3 Lightning Helixes in the sideboard, but it's possible going down to 2 is greedy. We're going to push some things around here in a second with my suggestions after we're done. And then Average Bloom sent us a donation to run this back at some point in the future, so we'll get to see it with those changes at some time soon. Yeah, I'm gonna be done after today, Demi. So we'll start with that deck tomorrow. So because my opponent led on Forest here, so we know they guaranteed won't have Tron next turn, I'm actually going to wait a turn to play the Damping Sphere, because I'd rather get my Wild Nacatl into play and apply pressure to my opponent. So again, like, the Disruption is only good if you can apply pressure with it, so getting this into play before we put the Sphere out is generally valuable. So, like, when people talk about, like, Damping Sphere being, like, the end of times for Tron, like, they really don't understand that, like, this card needs to be combined with pressure to really be that good against Tron. And, like, if they don't play a second different Tron piece here, I definitely would wait another turn to play the Sphere, but they're mapping, so they're very likely putting a second Tron piece into play. I just don't want to roll the dice on them. And them having Tron next turn. 0% chance that would lead to good things for us. Let's do this and then attack them for 3. Our hand's definitely a little bit slow, so we're kind of leaning into, like, if they have a Nature's Claim right away for this Damping Sphere, we're probably going to die in a blaze, because, like, we don't have a lot of pressure. So if they have the anti-disruption for our disruption here, they're going to put us on the ground. Oblivion Stone is pretty good too, yep. And this card's just so great because in addition to... I guess I'm just supposed to Ghost Quarter them this turn, huh? In addition to taking our disruption off the table, it also kills our pressure as well. Yeah, everybody wants every hate piece that gets played to be the card that finally acts as Tron, but really that's just, like, not how this works. If our opponent is smart, they're going to take the hit for 3 here and then crack this during our end of turn. Yeah, they're playing well. They're just going to use their health total as a resource here. So when they blow this up, I am going to go ahead and Ghost Quarter their power plant here. I do it during their draw step just in case they draw their last basic, but good chance they have plenty of basics in their deck. The mono green Tron decks play like up to 5 forests a lot of the time, which is a big part of why Ghost Quartering and Field of Rooting the Tron deck isn't a great way to fight them. You need to actually be killing them. Good news is that next turn, I can play a land and I can Rallier back my Wild Nacatl, and I can play the second Damping Sphere out of my hand, which is nice. Am I supposed to play around Nature's Claim here and rally back the second Damping Sphere? I feel like I'm just supposed to put 6 power into play. I feel like I'm just supposed to put 6 power into play. I'm gonna crack both these fetch lands. You like Field of Ruin because it can buy you 1 turn. Well, Field of Ruin is too slow on the draw against Tron. I mean, I can definitely rally her back Sphere. Oh, you're right, I can't because... Yeah, I can't Sphere and rally her back Sphere. You are correct, actually. Because if I rally her back the Sphere, then it would see that I've already played a spell. All right. I have a path to clear Wormcoil here. So if Wormcoil's their payoff, we could be okay here. They had Tron because, well, they always have Tron. Karn, we can even kind of... No, we probably can't fight through a Karn because they're going to kill our Karn or Damping Sphere. Oh, they can't Karn Damping Sphere because they don't have enough mana, right? That's beatable. That is a beatable Magic the Gathering card, chat. So, again, it all just comes down to, like, what do we think our role is in the matchup? Like, I could rally back Damping Sphere, but, like, by not rallying back Damping Sphere, I put my opponent on a 2-turn clock, and generally I just want to pressure my opponent. Overloading on Disruption and not pressuring them enough is generally a good way to lose the game. They're short of Hardcast Ulamog. They can play and crack Damping Sphere here, though, or Oblivion Stone. They can also Ugin us. No, I think I want to play around a piece of spot removal here. Like, Spatial Contortion is a card that they showed us. We can beat another Wormcoil Engine because we have Path. Please be Karn, please be Karn, please be Karn. I guess they can go Karn into Wormcoil here if they take Damping Sphere off the board, but that's not good enough. Okay, so like, what's your play here now? Do you have like a Form Coil and then we can kill you? Fist pump, fist pump. Yeah, I got the clean 5-0 here. Hawaii 5-0, chat. It's a good one to end on. It's a good one to end on. It's a good one to end on. Whew. Look at all the chesties, chat. Look at all the chesties. It was a good afternoon. We 4-1'd with Hollowed Flare, 5-0'd with the Landfall deck. Thank you for the bits, Red Mulligan. I'll throw those at the run back here, because I think we're going to run this back sometime in the near future. All right, so changes I would make. So I don't know if these changes are good. They're just changes I want to test. So I think this Seal of Fire Tarmogoyf is maybe too cute. I think I would get rid of that. I think if I cut the Seal of Fires, I definitely want this last path in my deck. I think the Treetop's been okay, but the more I think about it, the more I like the Ghost Quarter. Thank you, German Space Ace. I appreciate it. So I think I'd move the Ghost Quarter into the main deck. I think I would bring this extra tracker into the main deck, and I think I want to try Beaumont Courier in this deck. The more I think about Beaumont Courier, the more I want to try it. This might be bad, and it might be better as like other aggressive creatures, but like this card's like pseudo-aggressive, right? I think this is what I want to do with my life. I think this seems like a worthwhile addition to try. Like, we've got a lot of removal to like clear things out of the way, so I think this could be really good. Now, what do I want to do with this sideboard? Since you see how I changed things around, I basically freed up some sideboard slots here. I think getting the extra Lightning Helix back in the board is a good idea. We've usually played 3 of those, and I trimmed one out today. Spelled that wrong. Lightning Helix. Yeah, if the Beaumont is bad, I think I would try Scythe Leopard. Like Scythe Leopard. I think if these end up not being good, I would try Scythe Leopard Scavenging Ooze. No, I don't think Kessig Wolf Run is worth playing. I think I'd rather have all the fetch lines. The fetch lines are very, very important to this deck. I think I would just throw a 4th Damping Sphere in the sideboard. I think this card's really good in the matchups where it's good, and just like we want to draw them. Because like a lot of the matchups where this is good, like Lightning Bolt isn't very good, so just like having that be a clean swap is nice. And then I've got one more slot in the sideboard here. I'm honestly not sure what I want to do with that slot. I feel like Scapeshift is just too cute. Do we need Stony? I'd have to play against Affinity to know if I really need Stony. Like, I have Qasali Pridemage and Ancient Grudge. I guess Ensnaring Bridge is pretty annoying. It's also possible that this many Selfless Spirits is too many, but I've liked that. I've liked that card before. I think if I wanted another anti-artifact card in my 75, I would make it a way to kill Ensnaring Bridge. Because with, like, Tireless Tracker, we actually have ways to draw our ways to kill Ensnaring Bridge. Nah, I think Bog's too slow. I'm going to throw in an extra Ancient Grudge for now. I think Grudge is pretty good. Being in red-green and not playing a couple of Grudges seems loose. I think I would do that. Why would we have a bad time with KCI? We have a theoretical turn 3 kill, and we have Damping Spheres post board. Also, like, KCI isn't a super popular deck. I know, like, it just won a Grand Prix, and, like, people think the modern metagame, like, changes drastically every time a deck wins a Grand Prix, but that's not how the format works. Like, I would be surprised if I played against KCI even one time at the Open when I go. So, I think I would do something like this. I think it's possible this is too many Selfless Spirits. It's possible that, like, one of these cards could be something for grinding. Like, we could even, like, board a Bloodbraid Elf to, like, bring that in against control decks as, like, a 5th tracker, basically. At any rate, that's going to be it for me for today, folks. I do appreciate that, everyone hanging out today, especially when there's a Grand Prix going on. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to be starting off with the Historic Summoning Combo deck then. Everybody, have a good evening, and peace, folks.